members on my life and things like that. So I'm gonna film that, but if there's stuff you want me to talk about or questions you have, I would like to answer those as well. Anyway, tonight's case is a solved case, and it is one that I had never heard of until I stumbled across an article about it, and we're going all the way to Australia. We'll talk about it at the end, but this is one of those cases that I just... Oh, all right. We are talking about Lilie James this evening. I really hope, by the way, side note, another one, I have the aircon on, so I hope it's just white noise and not terribly distracting. It's 1,000,000 degrees in Illinois this week, probably like it is wherever you are. Alright, Lilie James was born in May of 2002. Her parents are Jamie James and Peta James. And Lilie has a brother that's name is Max. The family lived in Sanssouci, New South Wales, a suburb in southern Sydney. Lilie attended Daneback Anglican School for Girls in Hurstville, and she graduated from there in 2020. Lilie was a champion swimmer, and she had won many competitions. After high school, she went on to study a Bachelor of Management in Sports Business at the University of Technology in Sydney in 2001. While she was doing this, she was also employed by St. Andrew's Cathedral School as their water polo coach. St. Andrew's is an Anglican school catering to children from kindergarten to year 12, and there are around 1,400 students at the school. Lilie's friends and family consistently used one phrase to describe her: a life force. She embodied the energy and promise of youth. She approached each day with this infectious enthusiasm that literally touched everyone around her. Her father, Jamie, recalls that she was hardworking and loved to be involved. She could be extremely nosy, but she just wanted to make people's day better. Whether this was just with a quick smile or a conversation, this desire to brighten other people's lives wasn't just a personality trait for Lilie, it was the cornerstone of her chosen path in life. By age 21, Lilie had already built quite an impressive resume that showcased her dedication to helping other people. She juggled multiple roles with remarkable grace. She taught swimming, she taught dance instruction, she coached both water polo and something called netball. If you know what that is, please tell me down below. Each position represented not just a job for her, but a chance to make a positive impact on other people's lives. Her mother, Peta, often marveled at her daughter's seemingly boundless energy, and she would ask, where did she get it all from? And the answer, according to the people that knew Lilie best, was simple: chocolate and ice cream. Lilie had a very sweet tooth. So, beyond her professional accomplishments, Lilie represented something larger. A new generation of young women raised to be strong, independent, and clear about their boundaries. She approached relationships with what her parents described as remarkable maturity. including the brief romance that would tragically lead to her death. So now I'm going to tell you about Paul Tyson. Paul was born in the Netherlands in November of 1999 to his parents, Esther and Stefan. He was their only child, and the family lived in the Netherlands for Paul's first 15 years of life. They moved to Sydney in 2015, and Paul enrolled at St. Andrew's Cathedral School, entering at year or grade 10. After Paul graduated, he went back to the Netherlands to attend university. And it's going to get confusing, but it's not terribly relevant. He kind of jumps around a little, but I want to tell you. He returned to Sydney in 2020 and got a job as a sports assistant. He then returned again to the Netherlands in 2021 to complete his studies. And at the time, he was in a relationship with another young lady. She was Australian, and she stayed behind in Sydney. Her name was Freya. Now, after this case, Freya did speak about her relationship with Paul. She told police and reporters how controlling Paul was. Early on in their relationship, he wanted her to share her iPhone location with him. And at first, she was like, "No, I'm not doing that." Somehow he must have convinced her. She did occasionally turn it off, though, and this would lead Paul to just blow up at her about certain things. They were together for a while, and she made him this cute little 4-month anniversary booklet, but she found their relationship kind of suffocating. When they were apart, he would send her unwanted food via Uber Eats to make sure she was at home. And she once changed her social media picture to a picture without him in it, and he saw it and called her absolutely furious. She got so upset and bothered by this that she blocked him on social media, so he decided he was gonna hack into her account and change the picture himself. He then showed up unannounced where she was, and she decides she has to break it off with him. At this point, he punches a tree and says, "I can't punch the one thing that I want to," which would be Freya. Over the next several days, Paul was spotted outside of Freya's house. She even caught him peeking in her windows at 6:25 in the morning. Her father even threatened to get an order of protection against him and warned him to stay away. I'm not exactly sure what happened in that relationship, but it kind of leads into what we're talking about now. So Paul returned to Sydney after this in 2023. He told his parents that he was studying a Master's of Teaching at Sydney University, and his parents very kindly agreed to pay his tuition. However, his plans to study there were a lie. He also told his friends that he was studying and doing uni work, but police would later investigate and find out he had never even enrolled in any university in Sydney. Paul also forged a letter of reference from St. Andrew's Cathedral, which was provided to the Department of Home Affairs when applying to extend his working holiday visa. This letter exaggerated how long he'd worked at St. Andrew's, as well as his duties, as well as being an after-hours coordinator. So he had returned to Australia several times, and each time he had been granted a working holiday visa. According to my research, you are only allowed to have 3 of these. And at the time of this case, he was on his 3rd and final visa. relationship. She told her mother that they were just having fun and it was pretty casual, and when the fun was over, they were just gonna go their separate ways. And when Lilie broke up with him, he kind of was like, oh, well, can't we just be friends with benefits? And she was like, no. She told a friend later on that she just didn't want to be in like a meaningless relationship, and she was kind of keen to have a break from boys at the time. I really feel like the aircon got super loud all of a sudden. I'm gonna go turn it off really fast. Sorry, hold on. And of course I kicked something on the way, but anyway. Okay, I just felt like it was really, really loud. Alright. So, on the same day that Lilie broke up with Paul, his stalking tendencies kicked right into gear. He rented a car from a company called Go Get, and he drove to Lilie's house. He arrived somewhere around 10 p.m., so it's dark outside, and police would later find photos that he had taken. They included photos of the cars parked outside with notations such as outside the house with brother's car, and car 1 on the other side. I'm not sure why he was labeling the cars, but so over the next 4 days, it was revealed that Paul would stalk Lilie on 7 different occasions. In what would prove to be her final days, Lilie continued with her usual routine. She was teaching, coaching, studying, spending time with her friends and family, and on the morning of October 25th, her dad, Jamie, watched her eat breakfast in her own characteristic way. He noted she was perfectly at ease and just off in her own little world, just like I am when I eat breakfast. So, October 25th was a Wednesday, and around 7 p.m., Lilie was in the bathroom at St. Andrew's School. She was changing her clothes as she had just finished coaching water polo, and she was preparing for a game of her own. Paul entered St. Andrew's School armed with a claw hammer. I wanted to say claw tooth, but I don't think that's the right phrase. He can be seen on CCTV footage entering the same bathroom that Lilie is occupying. At this point, he brutally attacks her. The autopsy would show that Lilie was struck in the head and neck no less than 25 times. When Lilie was found, her hair had so much stuff in it that authorities believed that her hair was black. Paul remains in this bathroom for 1 hour and 12 minutes. I don't know what he was doing in there. I don't know if he was trying to described as being calm and almost emotionless in this phone call. He tells the operator where Lilie is in the school. He said when you go to the sports area, which is when you enter the school through reception on the left, the bathroom's on the right. It's the first door on the right. At one point, the operator asks him when he was at the school, and he responds, I don't remember. They ask him his name, and he says he'd rather not say. Before he ends the call, he says, I think someone should just go in there before people arrive in the morning. He politely says, thank you, and ends the phone call. He returns to his rental car, where he sits for 10 minutes or so, before he gets up, goes into the reserve, and unalives himself by jumping from a cliff. Okay, we'll talk about it in a little bit. So police go to the school and they find Lilie's body just before midnight. The following day at 4:30 a.m., the school emails all of the parents and tell them that the facility will be closed for the rest of the week due to a critical incident. A second message was sent out 2 hours later telling the parents that it did not involve any students in the incident. Lilie's body was identified by a friend of her family at around 10:30 in the morning, and Paul was already their main suspect just 1 hour later. On October 30th, it emerged that Paul had sent texts to Lilie's father from her phone, asking him to pick her up at the school. So he was at the school looking for his daughter when the police showed up from Paul's 000 call. And thank goodness, I'm so relieved that he did not find his daughter's body. I cannot imagine what that would have been like. It's bad enough that you're panicking trying to find her, because I guess the text message said, like, trouble, school, come help, or something like that. Criminologist Sandy Mallett speculated that Paul's reason for sending those texts was to ensure that Lilie's body would be found, or to potentially alter the time in which police believe she had passed. They found Paul's body on the rocks beneath the Diamond Bay Reserve at 8 a.m. on October 27th, and he was identified using his fingerprints. Lilie's funeral was held at her former school, Dane Bank, on November 17th. Today we are celebrating the life of Lilie James. This day is all about her, her father Jamie said in a statement. She was an independent, vibrant young woman who was always on the go, and she lived each day to the fullest. On top of working and studying, Lilie loved coaching and playing water polo. She loved to dance, and even with her busy schedule, always made time to support her brother Max, her friends, and her family. We cannot thank the community enough for their thoughts, prayers, generosity, and messages through this difficult time. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for the many great memories we all share of Lilie. Lilie James, we are so proud of you, and thank you for sharing a wonderful, jam-packed 21 and a half years together. Paul's family decided not to repatriate his body to the Netherlands. They had him cremated, and his ashes scattered somewhere in Sydney. An inquest into Lilie's death was held in 2025, just a couple months ago. Counsel assisting Jennifer single said that Lilie's murder was calculated. The preparation was calculated. This was not a momentary loss of control. It was not just him snapping. This was a premeditated event. They had found evidence that Paul had stalked Lilie and that he had even rehearsed the attack, including performing several dry runs. In the days after she broke up with him, he stalked her, carefully planned it, and in the hours before the attack, he rehearsed it. The court was shown chilling and disturbing footage of Paul practicing multiple times, aggressively entering different bathrooms before selecting where he would stage his attack. He was shown lunging into different bathrooms, exiting and trying again before deciding to attack Lilie in a disabled bathroom at the school. He went as far as to place cleaning in progress signs in front of other bathrooms so that Lilie was forced to go into his preferred toilet area. Jennifer said the police believe that Paul earlier in the day had gone back to his house and picked up a hammer from a roommate's toolbox to use. He had in fact purchased a different hammer days earlier, but did not end up using that one in his attack, which I found really weird. It was also revealed that when he went to Van Kloos, he also took Lilie's phone with him, and it is assumed that he threw both his and her phones over the edge. The court was also shown CCTV footage of an argument that happened between Lilie and Paul days before her murder. It wasn't them breaking up, though. This was different. It lasted about 5 minutes, but it does show him shoving her and cornering her pretty aggressively. Court said that Paul appeared stressed on the day following the argument, and that she had gone to a party and one of her exes was there, so he was pretty nervous. Paul had been checking her location via Snapchat, and he seemed kind of annoyed and cranky that night. Lilie told her ex at the party that night that she didn't feel safe with Paul and that he was starting to weird her out a little bit. Paul went to this party and sat outside for over an hour until she came outside and he could take her home with him. The court also heard that he had shown his friends intimate photos of Lilie without her permission. It is alleged that he did this in an attempt to reassert his control over her. The inquest was told that Paul had a fragile sense of self, with forensic psychologist Katie Seidler saying he felt inadequate and unworthy. He covered all of that up by projecting this image of perfection, of having everything together in his life. The legal aftermath of Lilie James's murder would be complicated by Paul Tyson's unaliving of himself, leaving many questions unanswered and justice seemingly incomplete. However, the inquest did reveal several crucial insights, and the proceedings that followed after that would kind of lead to preventing similar tragedies and identifying warning signs that may have been missed. St. Andrew's Cathedral School, where both Lilie and Paul worked, has issued a comprehensive statement addressing this tragedy. The school's response has focused on reviewing and strengthening their employment screening processes and implementing additional safety measures for staff working evening hours. Lilie's case has prompted other educational institutions across Australia to reassess their own security protocols and staff vetting procedures, particularly regarding the employment of former students in positions of authority. Perhaps the most valuable legal and social outcome of this case has been the identification of warning signs that, in retrospect, pointed to got out of it that day, we've sort of left it as it is. These preserved moments serve as both comfort and reminder, with PETA spending time there morning and night, and sometimes throughout the day. The family's grief is complicated by PETA's own battle with malignant melanoma, diagnosed shortly before Lilie's death. I have melanoma in both lungs, she revealed, and maybe a lymph node or two. I'm having immunotherapy once a month now. But despite these personal health challenges, PETA remains strong for her family. I don't want to make this any worse than what it is. If I were to fall apart, it would make that so much worse for them. For Lilie's tight-knit group of friends, her death has fundamentally altered their sense of safety and trust. One friend confessed that for like a month afterward, she couldn't even sleep in her own bed, which is really frightening to me. Okay, so let's talk about this. I hate this kind of case because I am a victim of something quite similar to this. And once again, I will be posting the domestic violence hotline down below. I will also encourage you, because of PETA's malignant melanoma diagnosis, irrelevant to this case, but to get your yearly skin checks. I work in dermatology. It's serious. Anyway, this man, it escalated so quickly to me. They only dated for 5 weeks, and she said at the beginning to her mother that they had agreed that they were just going to have some fun, it was going to be casual, and when the fun ran out, they were going to stop. But apparently, Paul did not see it that way, and I think that he was the type of person that got attached quickly and did not like to be told no. It wasn't as though she, personally just rejected it. As far as I can tell, she didn't say that it was something he'd done or anything like that. She just really didn't want to be in a relationship at that time. She didn't want to be in a meaningless relationship, and she was too busy to really be looking for love or, things like that. And I think he just took it so personally, and it makes me extremely sad that Lilie was a victim of this guy's behavior. The fact that he texted her father to kind of, I don't know if it was because he wanted her dad to find Lilie, that is just the lowest of low you can go to me. And then to cowardly just jump off a cliff to not have to face any repercussions. However, I say cowardly, but it definitely took some cojones to jump off a cliff. I imagine that that's why he disappeared into the reserve and then came back to his car for a couple of minutes. I don't know exactly what he was doing in his car for that 10 minutes. If he called someone or things like that, his actual phone records were not released to the public, so I don't have exactly what his phone did during that time, but I don't know if he was just trying to get up the gumption. I don't understand why he would chuck both the phones over the cliff, especially hers. I don't know. But I just absolutely hate cases like this because they're just so unnecessary. Not that murder is ever necessary, but it's just why, dude? Take your lumps and go, You're not going to be able to stay in Australia much longer. Go home to the Netherlands. Be happy. A 5-week relationship isn't worth this, people get rejected all the time. It just breaks my heart that the world has come to this sometimes. Everyone resorts to violence. The state of the world right now is just bananas to me, and if I think about it too hard, I just want to hide. So, anyway, let me know if you've heard about this case, if you know anything about it that I do not know, and guys so much for being here. I hope the aircon wasn't too distracting at the beginning. Someone tell me so that I can know whether or not I get to sweat through my videos or not.